All right, ladies, let's get down to the get down. How to save your relationship. I know a lot of y'all going through some issues in relationship. It done finally got to the part where you done got a little bored, the monotony set in, the inconsistency done set in. So you sitting up there wondering, man, how am I gonna say this thing? What do I need to do? And most of y'all, I can guarantee you, you're sitting there looking at the other person and saying, these are all the things that they're not doing, and you're not making me feel a certain way. That I can guarantee you that's what you're doing. Because very seldom somebody y'all gonna look in the mirror and you're gonna say, what can I do better? What do I need to do? What have I been doing that is really detrimental to our relationship? You ain't doing that. I know you're not doing it. You ain't nothing you can tell me, because I know you ain't doing it. But eventually, at some point, you're gonna have to come down, you're gonna have to sit yourself down, you have to look yourself in the mirror, and you're gonna have to ask yourself, let me take away my thoughts about what they're not doing, and let me see what I can do. At some point in time, you're gonna have to do that. But let's start out with this. First thing you gotta ask yourself is the relationship worth saving? Is it worth saving? What is some of the number one causes of relationship failing? Divorce is happening. What are some of the number one things? Ask yourself that. What are the number one things? Most people gonna start out with cheating. I can guarantee you that. Most people gonna start out with cheating, then the finances, then it's gonna be lack of communication and sex, intimacy. Those are gonna be some of the number one things. A lot of men say they're in a relationship where the intimacy part, the woman just don't perform. She don't want to have sex with him. A lot of men say that. I hear it all the time. We all see it on the internet. How many times should y'all be having sex? How many times should a woman have sex with a man? We see that all the time. Women gonna say communication a lot of times, and they're gonna say cheating. Because a lot of women, to be honest with you, they think all men cheat. They swear to God that there's no man on this planet that's not gonna cheat. And some men will say that too. And it's almost like you want to feel that way. But there are statistics that say men barely cheat more than women. Barely. So it's almost even. Especially around certain age. Now, the older the woman get, the more she prone to cheat on you. That's simply that. The more older she get, because the fire and desire starts to happen in her later years. Some women be in their late 50s and they be so hot in the ass, and the guys be in their late 50s and they start to decline. I mean, seriously decline. Especially if you got high blood pressure and diabetes, and they put you on that medicine, your ass gonna start declining. You're gonna start. It ain't never gonna go north. It's always gonna be hanging south. It's simply that. So, that's just how it is. That's just how it is. But let's start with the lack of communication. Now, guys, a lot of y'all know that men are direct communicators. We like to say what we want to say, and what we say, we mean what we gonna say. We mean what we say, and we gonna do what we say we gonna do a lot of time. That's just how men communicate. Women are they do a lot of that indirect communication, like, well, you should know what I like. You should know my color. You should know to stop by the store and get this. You should know I wanted flowers. You should know my birthday, I wanted this. They like to do all that kind of communication and things of that. Sometimes women will be direct, but most of the time it's indirect communication. And a lot of guys don't understand that. They get upset because a woman tell them something, and then they emotionally change up on it. And that's another thing. A woman means what she feels most of the time. If she feels she won't pay your ass back today, and next week she feel like she shouldn't have to pay you back, that's how it's gonna go. And they think that is how the rules of the game is. And for women, that's how it works. For men, that type of stuff, men have lost their lives over. That's how That's what that kind of stuff means to us. That's how serious we take that. What you say you're gonna do, you best better do it, or we're gonna take it as a sign of you disrespecting me. It ain't the fact that I really even need the money that I gave you back. It's the fact that you ain't pay me back and you think you're gonna be able to do it again. And a lot of women don't operate in that world, so they don't communicate like that. And men, when you're in a relationship, you expect her to communicate like that, but she's not gonna communicate like that for the most part. Whatever she feels is right, that's what's right to her, and that's what throw a lot of men off. And once you do that to a man, that's when he kind of want to shut down on you and kind of want to stop trusting you, because he thinks that you're trying to get over, you're trying to disrespect him, and you're treating him as a weakling. Because I don't hold you back, hold you up to what you say, you're gonna try to do that to me again. That's what how men think in relationships. It ain't always applied to other men or just have the mentality of how we operate on the streets. It has a lot to do in relationships, how it makes a man feel and how it makes him act. If you say that, hey, baby, can you pay my car insurance and I give you money back next week on when I get paid, and you don't do that, he gonna start to look at you sideways. He gonna start to look at you sideways. If you promise you gonna be with him forever, and you promise you gonna always be a certain way, and you don't do it, he gonna look at you sideways, and it's really, really gonna cause problem. That's what's gonna make him start communicating with you, because he feels like, why am I communicating with you if you ain't gonna even do what you say in the first place? And I should be looking to try to let your ass go. That's how you gonna feel. But a lot of time when he emotionally connected with you, he can't do that, because he's stuck between a rock and a hard place. His feelings that got him trapped. And another thing guys don't understand too is that body language, tone of voice to a woman, that's not being able to communicate. That's communication. That's a lack of communication. If she asks you something, a woman is watching everything, because instinctively, that's what they do. They tend to watch more things than men do, because that's more like a safety mechanism for women. And men may not think that that's a big thing, because I put it like this. If sometimes a woman asks me something and then I frown, the frown is not for what she's asked me. It's because I might have seen what she asked me. I made a took in what she asked me, and now I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna get it done. But in the process of getting it done, there's a roadblock or a hurdle that I'm gonna have to cross. So I'm frowning, thinking about, dang, I gotta cross that hurdle right there. It ain't got nothing to do with what you asked me to do. It's mostly thinking. I'm thinking it through. But the woman is gonna take that as, oh, he don't want to do it no way. Why should I have to ask him? Why should I shouldn't even waste my time come over here messing with this fool. I'm tired I'm a woman. I'm in a relationship. I can't even go to my man to help me fix my problem, because every time I go, he give me this I don't care attitude, or he got a attitude about what I'm asking him. So I hate to even walk in there and ask him. And a lot of y'all women are in relationship where you got to ask your man for money, ask your man to make grocery, ask your man to pay the light bill. And guys, that's gonna take me into provision and finance right there. That's gonna take me in there. That's a good segue to take me in there. Man, your woman gotta ask you to for money to put tissue in the house, for money to put food in the refrigerator, for money to make sure the light bill paid. Then listen, you operating below the poverty line, man. And if you got the money, you're not willing to give it to her. And I'm not talking about if this woman goes out and spend all the money on foolishness, because women have a bad habit of spending money up on foolishness and then declare that, hey, I'm not that kind of woman that want purses and shoes and this. No, you may not want all that, but you spend it up on bull jive that you can't even account for. But if you're a type of man that you can't even put that in, and you got a woman that's literally doing what she says she's gonna do with the money, then listen here, man. You don't even need to be in no relationship. Your focus is in the wrong place. It's in the wrong place. You need to shut that shit down, get yourself together, and then come back. Cause eventually she gonna leave your ass anyway. You might well shut this shit down and get yourself together where you can be an average guy. Just be an average guy, a guy that can provide. And what's provide? Making sure you got a place to stay, making sure you got food to eat, making sure you got food on the table, making sure you got transportation. That's providing. If you can't do that shit, then you're not a man, man. You're not a man. You just a bum posing as a man, and your shit ain't together. And a lot of women are going through that when it's talking about provision. And I'm gonna tell you, you looking very weak. And eventually, when a man comes by, that he might not look as better than you. He might not uh, uh, appear to be the man that you are, but she's gonna see him as somebody that's better than you, better than what you got, and eventually she's gonna start gravitating towards what she feel is more stronger. And at that point in time, he is the stronger man because you can't even take care of your own self. You mean to tell me you can't even put toilet paper in there? You can't even put food on the table. You got to be late on the light bill, late on the water bill. You got to get extensions. You're late on your mortgage, things of that nature. Or you got to come to her to pay half the bills. Man, you ain't no man. And see, that what kills a lot of relationships. And then that is what that is what you call a relationship that's not worth saving. So let's get to the part. Well, we all know infidelity is what kills a relationship. We already know that those are relationships that's not worth saving. But let's get to the part where how do you save a relationship? The biggest thing is this. Let's say if it's a communication problem, ladies, you have to take a step back and you have to understand how that man communicates. Men, you have to understand how that woman communicates. And once you understand how they communicate, and hey, I might can't go in there and use this tone. When she asks me this, I might can't, my body language might can't be that. Or you're not gonna always be that. If you're a man, you're not gonna always pick up on that indirect shit because that's just how we don't do. But you got to pick up on some of it. You have to pick up on some of it, some of it sometime. That's how you can start by bridging the communication gap. As far as the finances are concerned, y'all got to come down to the table. You ain't got your ass into this 50-50 relationship, so y'all have to sit down and figure out how you going to make it work with the bills, the main thing of survival. Damn the wants and the trips and going to this get together, going and spend money over here. Damn that's got to come later. You need to figure out what it takes to make y'all survive. I don't advise these 50-50 relationships in the first place because that shit don't really work that well. You gotta have two people that is on some kind of level to make that work, because 9 times out of 10, if a woman it has any part in the survival tool, she's going to use that, because women are horrible with power. Once they get power, mostly over your emotions, and knowing that your emotions are attached to a certain thing like a house, a car, children, a thing, they're going to wear your ass out with it, and you got to understand that. That's simple as that. And ladies, and that's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing. That's just a woman testing your will to survive. It's just testing you as a man and your strength. That's just the way it go. But you shouldn't even be in there. And ladies, you shouldn't even want to be in a 50-50 relationship because it's not good for you either. So how can you save it? Probably don't get into the 50-50 relationships. And if there is some financial issues, just come to the table and try to figure it out. Try to figure it out. Try to get to where there's a certain number y'all have to have, and then after that, you can build your life around it. That's the number one thing. So you have to work on those finances. The next thing is the infidelity and cheating. That, man, listen, don't even try to save those kind of relationships. Don't try to save them. It ain't worth it. If you're a woman, it's gonna set you back a long time, a lot of years. When and it's hard when you got kids. It's hard. I know when you got kids, and especially for men, you want to see your family. Women, yeah, but women are more prone to move on from a relationship when kids are involved than a man. Man will hold on to them damn family forever, knowing that they should have let that relationship go a long time ago. So, uh, you might want to just move on from that shit. It ain't even worth it. If it's things like Emotional and physical abuse, that shit go without saying. Don't save that either. If you're doing it, you need to cut it out. It's simple as that. You need to cut it out. If somebody's doing it to you, don't try to save it. Just move on, because they're gonna take it as a sign of weakness if you're trying to save something and they keep kicking you and kicking you and emotionally and mentally tearing you down. You got to just try to find a way to let that go. But if you're doing it and you and the person is saying, "Hey, I'm about to leave. I'm gonna get rid of your ass," then you got to find a way to get yourself some kind of help, or anger problems, or you got to stop looking at a person and being a bully to the person. Simple as that. And start. I'm not telling you to all of a sudden change overnight, but you have to make some provisions. You have to make some real steps in changing who you are and what you're about. Because you get, and it's just simple as it. Would you want somebody to treat your ass that way? That's simple as that. And it's easy for you to be punching on somebody when they close to you. It's easy. And a lot of y'all want to punch on the people that y'all close to. But I can go through a list of things, guys and ladies, of what you need to do. But I just told you, these are the things that hurt relationships, and trying to save them. The main thing is you shouldn't even be wanting to save some of these relationships. Just let that bullshit go.